Back at King's Automotive with Mr. Jackie King, the pro mechanic on everything Euro and Z.
Today we're going to be doing an oil change. Very hard stuff here. Don't try this at home for sure.
What else are we doing?
We're going to be checking the outlet pipe out of the turbo before the intercooler. We got a low oil light going on, so we're just trying to make sure that the turbo is not burning a ton of oil. It's not usually the best metric of checking because you're going to have oil in the pipe anyways unless you have a catch can set up, but we're just going to check for like an excessive amount of oil. A little oil is normal.
To give some background, I drove about 20 miles and I didn't beat on it, but you know, I was driving spiritedly. And once I got to the dentist, I got the low oil light. So I topped it off at the court. I drove back home, again, 20 miles, got the same light. What I'm guessing and what Jackie was suggesting is either something wrong with the PCV valve, the PCV hose, or the oil sensor. Or, worst case scenario, I need a new turbo. Let's hope it's not that.
You might want to look into the catch can setup one day.
You think so, even on this car?
Yeah. It wouldn't hurt, and then you would know how much oil is actually coming through.
Gotcha.
That would be like the main point of it for me. If you're like having to empty that shit out like 5 times between oil changes, but you know, something's going on.
Would that signify a problem with the PCV system?
Could be PCV, rings, or turbo. Anything that puts oil through the intake, really. It's like black, bro. This is probably why you're burning oil. It's probably not good oil.
Really?
Yeah, he's pretty cooked. Get some fresh oil in there. I think it'll be fine. It probably just really needed an oil change or something. Yeah. You're like right by the mileage, right? Like right about due?
Yeah, but I mean, I've gotten this light like 5 times since.
You didn't get it all today, right?
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, since that day I texted you about it, I haven't gotten the light. And again, I went to the same trip today, went to the dentist, let it out a little bit on the highway, let it out a bit on the way to you, like even higher gears, therefore like all the boost, no issue. Careful, it's gonna be hot.
Yeah, we'll catch it, we'll measure it.
It's pretty murky.
Yeah. Not great. Just looks used.
So Jackie, fill me and maybe the rest of the world in on what is a good alternative oil, like in case you run into this issue. Because obviously, pretty much nowhere sells, Liqui-Moly.
Honestly, most good oil is going to be fine. You know, Mobil 1, Castrol. BMW's recommended Castrol for the longest time. So honestly, you just go to Walmart and Castrol sells a 540. And even if you don't have to be like a hardcore Liqui-Moly person. It's just what we use. This is what most people like request. As far as like my personal opinion goes, I'm sure it's all good oil. As long as you're doing your oil changes on time, you use Mobil 1, Castrol, it's all good stuff. Even like Pennzoil, you know, that stuff's all good. I think when it comes to like the oiling industry, it's all just like repping a certain brand, but they're all good oils. Mm-hmm. So any quality 540 will work to top off. You can even throw 530 in there lately. You know, BMW's spec a lot of different like oils. So for my rule of thumb is like on the non-turbos, I use 530. Turbos make a little more heat, so I use 540 on the turbo cars. Yeah, this is what I'm actually talking about. You can see there's like hella oil coming out of the intercooler pipe.
Oh.
Yeah, so either PCV's like putting it through, or your turbo seals are blown and it's like pushing the oil out. When you're boosting, it's just forcing oil into a cooler and then you're getting it.
Wow.
So, yeah. I could take that off to check, but the real check is going to be in here. It's probably all like accumulated in there. But that's usually like, you know, I could take this set now and check too.
And that's the signifier of what? Blown turbo seals?
Usually, yeah. This is like, it's usually you see like a little bit. This is like not great. But I think we'll just do an oil change for you and like, keep an eye on it. There's no real telltale. Like if you got really bad turbo oil seals, you're gonna see smoke out the exhaust, which you're not getting yet. So might not be like any reason to worry for now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's pretty caked up. I've seen a lot worse. Mm-hmm.
So the reason I ask about the oil though is because you'll see on the forums, you'll see online on, I mean, I feel like even FCP Euro, they always talk about LL04 and like different, I don't know if it's a grading system.
Yeah.
Is that like something to consider, or is it not really, it doesn't really matter, especially if it's just a top off?
I think if you're topping off, it's not too big of a deal. That's just like new certifications that like BMW will pass. As far as me knowing the actual difference as to like what the new specifications entail, I don't know, and I think a lot of people also don't know. At the end of the day, if you're using a quality oil, I think it'll be good. If you're really worried, then you can always look on the back of the bottles and it will say LL04 for the specification. But, you know, especially when it comes to top off, it's not a very big deal.
Gotcha.